Hello and welcome to the Calisthenics YouTube channel. My name is Dennis and today we will look at another case study. In today's case study, we're gonna see how Leo, one of our coaches here at Calisthenics, was able to regain the planche in only 3 months without having trained it for over a year. As mentioned in the past, the purpose of these videos is mainly to understand concepts, which will be very useful in the planning of your workouts. Obviously, doing a simple copy and paste without taking into account your individuality won't get you anywhere. In particular, with this video, we want to make clear that, first of all, you should not be afraid to leave a movement aside for a while if you are interested in other goals. Second, the volume needed to maintain or regain a certain movement that you have learned in the past is less than most people think. Third of all, there is not always need for extremely complicated plans to make progress. Even simple plans can work and have the advantage that they allow you to analyze data more objectively and accurately. Before we begin, a little background on Leo. Leo used to train mostly for skills and for endurance in calisthenics, and also working on improving his 1RM in the main free body movements. In this video, you can see one of his planches dating back to 2018 when he weighed around 69 kgs. However, in February 2020, his training shifted completely to bodybuilding. From here on out, all the skills, be it the planche, Hefesto, 1-arm pull-up, hands and push-ups, all of them were left aside. Finishing his first bulk in February 2021, after going from 71 to 79 kgs, he faced his first extended cut. In order to see how much influence a considerable weight loss would have and how long it would take to regain some of his skills that he hadn't trained for a long time, he decided to reinsert some of these movements into his training. One of these movements was the planche. Here you can see the structure of his first mesocycle of cut. It is a 5-day split in which the largest muscle groups, being the back, chest, quadriceps, hamstrings, as well as the triceps, are trained 2 times a week, while the others, deltoids, biceps, and calves, are trained 3 times a week. At the beginning of the mesocycle, the number of training series and the effort are relatively low, while at the end of the mesocycle, the volume is significantly higher and the sets are much closer to failure. In order to not lose sight of the main objective of this video, we won't go into more detail about hypertrophy training. If you have questions about it, don't hesitate to ask in the comments down below, and we might make a video about hypertrophy and calisthenics. To integrate the planche into this training structure, we took into account following factors. Frequency of at least 2 times a week. The planche is a quite complex movement and rarely improves with very low frequencies of just 1 time a week. Low volume, so as not to consume too much energy on the main objective of this plan, which is hypertrophy training, in order to maintain as much muscle as possible in this cut. Also keep in mind that a caloric deficit surely doesn't help to maintain high training volumes. With these considerations in mind, we allocated 3 to 4 sets of planche at the beginning of day 3, where we had biceps, lateral deltoids, rear delts, calves, and abdomen, as well as 3 to 4 sets at the start of day 6, where we had quads, hams, glutes, and triceps. As a first approach, we used the advanced style planche. As you can see from this video, the pelvis is likely too closed due to the lack of proprioception, given the long period in which it was not trained. The duration of each series was self-adjusted, maintaining 3 to 4 seconds of buffer, and the number of sets was between 6 and 8 per week, depending on how Leo was feeling. The weight in this video was around 77.5 kgs, with a caloric intake of 2,600 kilocalories per day. Within just 2 weeks, the hold times improved dramatically, probably also due to the significant weight loss that finds place in the first weeks of a diet, where we drop a lot of water, and the weight dropped further to 76.2 kgs. Since Leo was improving very quickly and he didn't have any problems at his joints and was feeling well, we moved on to the next step. As a little reminder, if you're enjoying these videos, consider subscribing, click the bell icon, leave a like, all that fun stuff. Thank you. Back to us. At this point, we had 2 options. First of all, the classic option that you can see in one of our old videos. Either use the classic propedeutics like the one-leg straddle and the straddle planche, or go directly to the full planche with loop bands. If you have been training planche for a short time, obviously the first approach is the better idea for you. In this specific case, however, since Leo had already mastered the planche many years ago, we decided to go with the second approach. We did that due to 2 facts. First of all, Leo had already the planche in the past, and secondly, the one-leg straddle and straddle propedeutics are usually technically more demanding than the full planche, especially considering the position of the pelvis. Now to the loop band work. In the beginning, we used 2 loop bands, one of 15 kgs and one of 5 kgs combined, for a total of 20 kgs. Just as with the advanced planche, we used 6 to 8 sets per week, and the hold time increased significantly in a very short time. Little disclaimer, if you are interested in loop bands, you can find them on the Gornation store, and you can use the code Calisthenics10 to get 10% off when buying them. Well, after 2 to 3 weeks of using this resistance, we removed the lighter loop band, decreasing assistance slightly. Now Leo had a body weight around 75.5 kgs, eating around 2,400 calories a day. Please note, when you use elastic bands, it's extremely important you always use the same bar, with the same thickness, at the same height, with the same parallels. The amount of assistance provided by the loop band is directly proportional to its elongation. Having the same identical setup all the time allows us to quantify the data in an objective way and consequently make decisions starting from objective data. This is one of the cardinal principles on which our vision of training is based. And for this reason, we like to call it evidence-based. After another 3 to 4 weeks, since the hold times kept improving dramatically from week to week, we started using only the 5 kg loop band. If you've ever worked with elastic bands, you know that the 5 kg band has negligible amount of assistance. For this reason, as soon as we noticed that Leo was able to perform sets of 5 seconds with this loop band, we knew for a fact that his full planche was regained. In this video, you can see his first attempt of a full planche, about 2.5 months after the first advanced planche. At this point, Leo had a body weight of 72.5 kgs, approximately 5 kgs lower than at his starting point. As you can see from the video, the line is not clean. The pelvis is high and the feet are low. However, it is clear from the video that the strength for this exercise is there. For this reason, for the next few weeks, we kept doing unassisted sets, gradually improving the form, until we got the one you can see in this video. A solid hold of about 5 seconds. This was the end of the weight loss phase, which ended at 71.5 kgs. As you can see, the improvements were relatively quick. This can be attributed primarily to a few factors. First of all, as we mentioned a few times in this video, the movement had been already learned in the past. Second, there was a significant weight loss from 78 to 71 kgs. Caveat, although weighing less is usually an advantage, there is a limit beyond which you begin to lose a lot of muscle mass and a series of negative metabolic adaptations occur. This limit is very subjective, and trying to exceed it can lead to serious health problems. So if you think about losing weight to get better at something, be sure to ask a professional for help. In this diagram, you can see Leo's weight loss and his improvement in planche. The thing that amazes most people when seeing these improvements is the little amount of work that was done. In the world of calisthenics, you often see athletes doing infinite amount of sets, training for hours on end, repeating the exercises over and over and over again. However, these practices, as supported by scientific literature, almost never make sense, and instead greatly increase the risk of injury and generate unnecessary fatigue. We invite you to think about your training and the number of hard sets you do. The minimum effective volume is often lower than most people think. For any questions, please feel free to leave a comment. If you liked this video, give us a like. If you disliked it, a dislike. Maybe consider subscribing if you like and enjoy our content. Click on the bell icon if you want to get notified if we post something. So stay tuned for more and see you next time.